Skeptics who love picking on scripture's supposed discrepancies and inconsistencies often ask, if Jesus died on Friday and resurrected on Sunday, how do you squeeze 3 days and 3 nights between Good Friday and Easter Sunday? Christians celebrate the events of Jesus Christ's suffering, death and resurrection over a period called Easter Triduum, or the Great 3 Days. All 4 Gospels attest that Jesus rose from the dead early on the first day of the week. Matthew 28:1, after the Sabbath, as the first day of the week was dawning. Mark 16:1-2, when the Sabbath was over. Very early on the first day of the week, when the sun had risen. Luke 24:1, on the first day of the week at early dawn. John 21, early on the first day of the week, while it was still dark. If Jesus died on Friday and rose on Sunday, how do we fit 3 days and 3 nights? There are several solutions to this problem. Some have suggested that a special Sabbath might have occurred, so that Jesus was actually crucified on a Thursday. However, a solution, which seems to be more convincing, is that Jesus was indeed crucified on a Friday, but that the Jewish method of counting days was not the same as ours. The first day of the week is Sunday. In Jewish culture, as throughout the Bible, the day begins with sunset, not sunrise and not midnight. Sabbath ended at sundown on Saturday. Just after sundown, Sunday began. 3 days is not necessarily 72 hours. Hours as we think of them were not a unit of measure then. It means 3 distinct days as delineated by sundowns and sunsets. The vast majority of the world's Christians have used the following means to arrive at the timing of our celebrations during Holy Week. Thursday evening, Last Supper and Great Commandment. After sundown marks the beginning of the first day, eve of Friday. Jesus is arrested and tried. Friday morning, first day continues, and Jesus is executed, removed from the cross and buried. Friday sundown, second day begins, eve of Sabbath, Saturday. Saturday, sunrise to sunset, Jesus lies in the tomb. Saturday sundown, third day begins, eve of Sunday. Sunday morning, third day continues and Jesus is raised from the dead. This way of reckoning the time of Holy Week has been consistent in Christian practice, East and West, from at least the 3rd century AD. An indication to different time count we find in some Bible passages, such as Esther 4:16. Esther exhorting her adoptive father Mordecai to persuade the Jews to fast. Neither eat nor drink for 3 days, night or day. This was clearly in preparation for her highly risky attempt to see the king. Yet just 2 verses later, in Esther 5:1, we read, "Now it happened on the 3rd day, that Esther put on her royal robes and stood in the inner court of the king's palace." If 3 days and nights were counted in the same way as we count them today, then Esther could not have seen the king until the 4th day. This is completely analogous to the situation with Jesus' crucifixion and resurrection. For as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth, Matthew 12:40. Now after the Sabbath, as the first day of the week began to dawn, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary came to see the tomb, Matthew 28:1. Then, as they were afraid and bowed their faces to the earth, they said to them, "Why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but is risen. Remember how he spoke to you when he was still in Galilee, saying, 'The Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men, and be crucified, and the 3rd day rise again,' Luke 24:5-7. If the 3 days and nights were counted the way we count them, then Jesus would have to rise on the 4th day. But, by comparing these passages, we can see that in the minds of people in Bible times, the 3rd day is equivalent to after 3 days. So, day 1, crucifixion, started at sundown on Thursday night, and ended at sundown on Friday day. Second day, Sabbath, starts at sundown on Friday night, and ends at sundown on Saturday day. Third day, resurrection, starts at sundown on Saturday night, and ends at sundown on Sunday day. This indicates that Jesus died on Friday, that was day 1. In total, day 1 includes the day and the previous night, even though Jesus died in the day. So, although only part of Friday was left, that was the first day and night to be counted. Saturday was day 2. Jesus rose in the morning of the Sunday. That was day 3. Thus, by Jewish counting, we have 3 days and nights, yet Jesus rose on the third day. It should not be a surprise to us that a different culture used a different method of counting days. As soon as we adopt this method of counting, all the supposed biblical problems and discrepancies with counting the days disappear.